Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of 44 Stack. Tonight we have the three-headed monsters coming at you. My name is Coop. We got Bro Long and we got Dave. How's everybody doing this evening?
Oh
I'm
man,
great.
it's lovely.
All right. Good to hear. Good to hear. Everybody had a good week?
It's been eventful. Football back in full swing, so that's all I'm worried about anyway.
Yeah, same
I'm going
here.
to say it like this. Okay, I'm going to say it like this. All our teams won, so it should be a great week. Everybody pulled it
Except
out. We're good to go.
my baseball team is trying to act up towards this kick run that they need to do. So I guess I
Oh,
just ignore until the playoffs start.
I didn't gave it up because everybody on the Braves hurt, Bo. If they
Yeah,
make
they're
the
playing
playoffs,
Washington
that's
right now.
fine. If they don't, I mean, every night somebody coming up lane.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
playing Washington right now, and Washington is not a good team because that's my team, and I know
yeah.
that. And they're hanging pretty tight with the Braves right now. They did beat them
Yeah,
11-1 last night, though.
they beat them
So
11-1 last night, but I mean, Bo, shoot, the dude you brought in to take Ozzy Albies' place, he went down Sunday, so I'm like, we're gonna mess around and make the playoffs and they ain't got nothing.
that's true. That is true. But in Georgia fashion, though, they're still gonna come out and support, though.
Of course, of course. The Braves is the big dog in Atlanta, so ain't nothing wrong with that. And then especially we're gonna get into this Falcon game from Sunday because we got a ways to go on this. But let's start off with
Yeah.
college. Saturday night. I'm gonna put it out there, y'all piggyback off it. Clemson and App State. Where was this Clemson offense last week against Georgia?
Not last week against Georgia for 2 years. Since the beginning of even the last run, I have never seen him make throws. Them are NFL throws. These are over the shoulder. All you got to do is put your hand up, 60-yard passes. And where it's been for the last 2 years. That's my whole thing.
I don't know. That game, now App State, I thought was going to come in and give Clemson problems just because of how they played against Georgia. And if you got up and went to the kitchen and came back, it was 42-0. And I was like, what in the world is going on? If they play like they played against App State the rest of the year, they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. That was the most complete Clemson I've seen since the Trevor Lawrence years when they won the championship. Defensively, App couldn't move the ball. Offensively, we could run, we could throw. Brennan Stew, I mean, let's just go on and put it out there right now. If he leave this year, I don't blame him because right now he is a beast because you don't even know what to play him with. Is he a tight end? Is he a wide receiver? He killing people. And then it was good to see Cade actually look like the projected star that he was when he came into school. Even so to the point where you really had to question where was just from a play calling standpoint, none of this was evident last week against Georgia. So
let me ask this question: do you think? Because I missed all. Like I said, I was traveling Saturday. I missed all the games. I was following online, but do you think it's more of a mental thing? Coach, they made the game. I guess game planned around his talent, or do you think it's more mental, or just the level of competition he was playing, so he had the confidence?
I think it was two things. I think
Mhm.
DeAndre's news, DeAndre's passing, number one.
Uh-huh.
Number two, Clemson was ready to take out the Georgia loss on somebody.
Somebody.
And you had that, you had the emotion when he sent the 214s down the hill first. I mean, I almost when he did that, and then I don't then the illusion on his yesterday, what's the day? Yeah, on the Tuesday thing when he was talking about all the 14. Like he was talking about like the time. It was 114 left. It was this. It was, I think App State, and then I went back and looked at like how bad they've lost through the years. This is the worst that in the last 15 that I saw on the book. I mean, they got dragged. And so what I would say is emotion and ready to unload on somebody. And like T said, Brennan Stool reminds me of Ed McCaffrey. You know, when you said you don't know tight end or wide receiver, you can make them, and then they'll take the hits necessary to, you know, to complete the play. So I think it was Riley let loose the playbook. I think emotion, and then just ready to unload. Because I wrote down, so I have a hot take. So I did my power rankings right on this. I've got number one Georgia. I got number two Miami, number two Texas right now because they played a more substantial game going into Michigan. Right. I got three as Miami, and right now you would be hard pressed for me not to put Clemson at 4 or 5 because, as I said on our last podcast, the only team I think constructed in America that can withstand the fire of that offensive line is the team they played the first game of the season. So that's why I say that's my hot take. Is like Tony said, that I just think if I go by power rankings and what I see, I got them at 4 or 5 because I don't see a team that's better than them. Yeah. Especially defensively.
Yeah, defensively, yeah. I think offensively, it's just whichever cage shows up. That's how you go.
The biggest thing defensively I've seen from them is they've held up the last 2 games. I know Georgia kind of ran away with it in the second half, but the thing about it is they were tired because the offense wasn't doing anything. If you're gonna play the rest of the year and you're not gonna get them, if they're gonna go 3 and out, they're gonna kill somebody because they play like Clemson is supposed to play, the way I feel like LSU should be playing, where like I always call it, you know, they play like they mad with their mamas or something because, you know, they trying to hurt people out there, and it's not a bad hurt. It's okay, we got to let y'all know who we are. I did see some personnel changes that I thought assisted with this win. Some players that I thought that should have been playing last week that didn't play against Georgia got pushed into the starting lineup, and I think you saw the takeoff from that. He played the freshman, the Lou Williams boy. He already looked like he ready. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna do this the rest of the year with the 3 wide receivers with Williams and the other Lou Williams,
Williams, Brown,
and Brown, and then you do Brennan Stool and Marfa. I don't think there's another setup.
And they do what they did with Randall. You go out there as a ceremonial thing. Yeah. But he should never be in the game and anything when it really counts. West Coast, them 2 freshmen, they need to stay because when you look at even, I don't know, I think he just likes throwing to them too, because when you look at how he's dropping those passes, because I was trying to look at the separation, even though they didn't really play in the game, but the play Randall really screwed up. If you look at the separation on that callback, that was about the same separation between Westco and that corner. It's just Cade dropped it right over the shoulder. All you had to do was just go like this and you caught the ball.
Gotcha.
I would say it was probably some of the best throwing. And then,
oh my goodness.
I like the fact that you put Terrell and the other little freshman corner, you started them and they shut down App State passing game, and then that made them one-dimensional. And man, them 4 beasts that's on
the front, you're not doing nothing with that.
And I would.
So did the offense run volume plays?
The who?
Did the offense run like volume like they used to do back in the day?
No,
like I said here again.
They were. I think the longest drive in the first half might have been 6 plays.
Yeah.
Well, you got to figure.
It was like the old Clemson with the big.
It was actually like
Mike Williams and T. Higgins and them. Boom, 70 yards. Gotcha. Boom, 60 yards. I mean, Marfa broke out. What was it? A 60-yard?
It was 80 yards. It was 83 yards for Marfa.
Like Spiller used to do. Like, you know, it looked like everything was done, and then boom, out the pack. Here he go. And once he gets it, Marfa has what I call distance speed, meaning he creates distance once he gets going, away from who's ever running behind him. Yeah, he has good to be that big, to be 220.
Yeah. And honestly, that running play was just off tackle. It wasn't nothing.
It was off tackle, exactly.
It was just off tackle play. And when he hit the hole, the linebacker had the angle, but he exploded through that, and that was it.
You can't arm tackle him. You cannot arm tackle. There's no arm tackle happening.
I was really, really impressed with that. The big thing is you get a week off now, and then you come back to your next game. You kind of lick the wounds, kind of get better, get yourself in the right situation, then you come back and you're ready to go. Right now, I put them in Miami, probably 1-2 in the ACC. If and they don't play each other until you get to Charlotte, so this gonna be a hell of a damn ACC championship game, because if Miami plays what I've seen them do, and I ain't gonna count last week, but you know what? I kind of let me know how good FAMU is, because FAM did hang with Miami. So that kind of really lets me know FAM is on the trajectory. They're probably gonna be in the MEAC championship and probably going to end up playing South Carolina State again, because while we're talking about that, I want to say congratulations to Coach Chennis Barry.
Yes, sir.
For getting his first win at South Carolina State. I look forward to him being there. I think he's going to do some good things at State. You know, if once he starts getting his type of players in and then starts implementing everything that he has to do, that's going to put them back where they belong, basically, as the power in the MEAC and one of the powers in all of 1AA. Yeah. Or not just HBCU, 1AA, because that's what FAMU has done. They put themselves, you know, back into the upper echelon. Now they're not going to go to the playoffs, but
all right. Because they are in with the North Dakota State, South Dakota States, and them, right? If they came down to a playoff, like if they get picked, they would go in with them, right?
They decide to go to the bowl game now, so they have the option.
Okay.
Yeah, the MEAC and the SWAC has the option. They can either go to the championship, go in the playoffs, or they can go to.
And which one is North Carolina Central in?
They went MEAC. They were South Carolina State, and that'll be the big game for State now, because North Carolina Central also looks good.
Yeah, they look good.
You know, so
I had to sit in the State game on while the Clemson App State game was going on.
Yeah. So that's the big thing. So let's jump over. Did y'all see the Gamecocks in Kentucky?
Yes. Disappointing in Kentucky.
Now, I will say this here: the Gamecocks in Kentucky didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be. I thought Kentucky was going to put up a bigger fight. Honestly, the only reason game day is in Columbia this week is because of the fact the Gamecocks won. It's a pretty pitiful schedule. People around here in Columbia are all hyped and jacked up, thinking that they've made it. They're an unranked team. They for the time being, they're leading the SEC because they're the only, them and Kentucky are the only two that have played the conference game. But if they think they're going to beat LSU, I got some serious doubts in that, because even with the game that they played last week, Kentucky had nothing that looked like a quarterback. Vandegrift was terrible. There's no other way you can actually put it. Now, Lenora Sellers did play a better game than he played against Old Dominion. Gamecocks defense is swarming, but I can't really say if they are a great defense because Kentucky's offense was so one-dimensional.
I would say South Carolina's offense did look like it. It looked way better. Matter of fact, I'm going to say a whole 180 from the ODU game. But from the ODU game, because they were actually moving the ball and had sustained drives. The ODU game, that was pitiful.
Well, they biggest issue still is I don't think they can run the ball from the running back position consistently. They'll do a few plays here and there where they get good yards, but I don't think if they had to play someone with a stout defense like Georgia, they're not going to be able to move the football. Saturday, I think they're going to struggle against LSU.
Because Brian Kelly playing for his job. I mean,
well, it ain't just
really
that.
playing for his job.
It ain't just that. LSU got better players, and
that's
just the bottom line. They got better players. Now, if they come in here and they lollygag, they can get mollywop. But at the same time,
coaching schemes, that can do them in.
I mean, because the Gamecocks don't have a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna play hard just because that's just their nature. But this game shouldn't even be close on Saturday.
It'll be close.
It's expected to be raining here too, so that's gonna cause
it's gonna be close.
Yeah. But LSU is last 2 years, has been a self-imploding team.
Yeah,
they're supposed
to turn the ball over. Now, Brian Kelly is not a coach. I'll be the first one to say that.
Like you said, they are supposed to, but the games that I'm thinking it's not even a game. Even the D2 games that they play, like say one is Nickel State or something like that. Those games are even close because they play to the level of their talent.
Of their competition.
Of the competition, my bad.
Yeah.
To the level of their competition. To the level of their competition. Yep.
Well, part of that is on Brian Kelly. And this is a pattern for Brian Kelly. You've seen it at Notre Dame. You saw it at Cincinnati. It's been the same. It's been like that since he took over at LSU. LSU, talent-wise, is probably the second or third best team in the SEC, talent-wise. You should not be struggling the way that you do and way that they have done the last couple of years under Brian Kelly. And it's only because of him. It has absolutely nothing to do with the players. It's because of him and his leadership. And this is nothing new. We saw this when he was at Notre Dame. The thing about it is, right now, when have y'all ever known, and we've been watching LSU since Carolina's been in the SEC, when have you ever known LSU can't run the football?
Yeah.
And they can't run the football. And that's a problem. You got All-American linemen and you can't run the football. It's something wrong with that. Nussmeier is a good quarterback, but okay, that's not going to help you beat Texas. That's not going to help you beat Alabama. That's not going to help you beat Georgia. You can beat everybody else, but you're going to struggle. And that's what I see them doing. Now, they come in here and play around on Saturday if you want. The crowd is hyped. And see, what I don't want them to do is I don't want them to come in here and lose this game because that's going to make the Gamecocks think they're better than what they are. And they are far from that. They are not. I know they got a 2-0 record. Don't get me wrong. But they are far from that. As they get more into this schedule, you're going to see these things come out more and more, and it's going to be evident. If they get to 5 wins, they've done a good job this year because he doesn't have what everybody thinks he has.
He stumbled. Okay? They stuck, like I said, they stumbled to the ODU victory. Kentucky laid out a good. I don't know what happened to the Kentucky. Pretty much the same. They just their coach also got a lot to talk about. I'm just concerned. Like I said, I don't want them to come in there with the LSU attitude of the last couple of years because like that place is going to be crunk. That stadium is going to be off the chain. And so, and with the rain and with the linemen, they should be able to control the game just off of pure talent. But LSU gets to the fourth quarter, and I don't know what happened. Well, see, you said it's coaching.
It's coaching.
And also, something happens because I would say it's coaching. Like even if you go back to Notre Dame, but then old boys having the same problem. Freeman winning the big game. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just. I don't know. Is it something that when they get towards the end, and I'm wondering, is he still flushing the Ed Orgeron players out?
No, he should have all these.
I'm just being like, is that a byproduct of those leftovers?
Yeah. All these should be his players now. The biggest problem I see with LSU, one defensively, is they don't have that killer in them that they had when Coach O was there, or when my man Les was there. Because see, Les, you say what you want, but Les defenses was dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were.
And you don't see that killer in them the way that they used to be, and that's part of their biggest issue because they don't have closers. They don't stop the run as effectively as they used to, and they don't get to the passer as effectively as they used to. So that's what puts them kind of at a disadvantage. I think if they get up on Carolina Saturday by 10, I think they got a good opportunity to win the game. If it stays a touchdown or a field goal game, it's gonna be a problem.
I think my bad, Kels, I cut you.
No, I just said it might be upset. That's it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it is crucial that LSU goes into halftime. Carolina needs to go into the locker room at halftime defeated. That's what LSU needs to do. Is they need to beat the Gamecocks at halftime. Like they come out of the halftime locker room knowing there's no chance for them to win the game, because if it's not, and the way LSU has been playing the last couple of years, it could be up for grabs at the end. Yeah, that's why they got to kill that spirit, because with the rain, man, if you can do something, like you said, to get up by 10 and go into halftime with the weather, that spirit is done at that point. And you just continue to do, run it down and throw it. You can, and really, you don't have to move the ball that much, because on the other side, the other team is not going to get many first down.
Right. The thing is, this is in Carolina's favor. Well, really LSU's favor. This game being at 12 o'clock makes a difference, because you don't have them all day partying, getting ready, and you don't have sandstorm at night. That is difficult to deal with, because the lights get to flashing. You done been out there all day. You done got right. You're feeling good. Because Carolina, how typically, they only have a few games a year. This is the big thing in Columbia this week. And with GameDay being there, and then this game going from GameDay right in at 12 o'clock, you need to go on and step on their neck quick, get it over with.
Shut it down.
If you up by 14 halftime, student section is gone. They done, especially if it's raining. They done.
Yeah, done.
And you can cruise to a victory on this here, and then the whining in the morning. The craziest thing I've heard all week, man, is that last week, even though they beat ODU, they were whining and concerned, and then this week they think they're on top of the world, just because GameDay is coming, and they ain't even smart enough to understand or realize the only reason GameDay is coming is because Kentucky stunk up the bed, because GameDay was going to Kentucky for the Georgia game, because that's where Kirk and Whatchcard gonna be at Saturday night. So I mean,
and it's never because, and if they ever go there anyway, it's not because of that. It will never be because of them. It's the team that they're playing. Like if it's at Clemson, it's because of Clemson. And when it's at the fake USC, it is because the team that they are playing, not because of the Gamecocks. Yeah.
Well, and really, once we get into the schedule for Saturday, you'll understand why they're at Columbia. That's the biggest thing, because like you just said, if LSU loses this game, Brian Kelly's seat is on fire. If the Gamecocks win this game, Beamer ball, even though they ain't going nowhere. But that'll be the height that's going into it, and good and well they're not going anywhere, because I mean they haven't even got to the meat of the schedule yet. So if they luckily upset LSU, that puts them in good position. But you still got to play Georgia. You still got to play Florida. You still got to play. I believe they got Oklahoma and they got Alabama. So no, they ain't going nowhere.
All right.
I think the beat down to Columbia this year is going to be bad. I don't know what Dabo made that statement, about Clemson stockball. You can. I was all with him on that, except I forgot the first game of the season was Georgia. Well, and now that game is out the way, I don't know what it is, but this got that feeling to me that this can be one of them runs, like towards the ACC championship and then Miami. And I just feel something special about this team moving forward.
Well, if they end up one of the top 4 teams and they get that bye for the first round, and more often than not, they're going to get probably a Big 10 or a Big 12 school in the first round of the playoffs. They won't have to put forth no effort until they play Alabama or play Georgia. That might not be into the semis. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, the loss might have hurt, but what you might have done, you is put yourself in a position where you ain't got to go hard the whole way through the year, and you can get yourself in the right type of frame of mind. And you already know, okay, the semifinal games is in Atlanta, and I think it is in New Orleans, and then the championship is in Dallas. That's them home games. Them home games.
Yeah, they travel. Yeah.
And man, like you said, if they get to play a Big Ten school, it's over.
It's over.
It's very. Man, like we talked about, and then if you Big 12, I consider them just an add-in because they needed a Power 5. That they is like you said, it is when they get to play, when they have to play an SEC school, will be the game because the Big Ten is. I mean, it's a shell of itself this year. And it was the worst year for the integration to happen because the integration would have happened last year. You would have had pretty much 4 to 6 top best teams in the country last year.
Yeah, you would have got
with the way the Big Ten was. Now they're together with everyone, and the teams are just a shell of what they were last year.
And then I even throw this out there, and it's early to say this, but even if Clemson or Miami lose, whoever loses the ACC championship game, do you really want to see one of them?
Yeah. Oh, no. And I don't see the thing.
If you're not an SEC school,
but what I'm scared of is if with the way the playoff, because they're giving us the playoffs, I've told folks this. Playoffs is a blessing and a curse. Because last year they started the precedent to let you know stuff is coming with the Florida State, omission. Whoever's the ACC champ, I am scared that the next runner-up may not get a slot because what they're saying is 12, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the rankings, the SEC is going to pretty much a lot fill that out. And they're going to give, and you know how they are about the Big Ten, and this is why the ACC, they set it up already to get screwed with excluding Florida State. They want the money. If there's a couple of Big Ten schools that are Penn State, for instance, maybe Ohio State, that are competitive, the second place ACC school is going to me, especially with the ACC as it is, they're going to have to sweat out that at-large bid.
Well, the only way I see that the Big Ten getting Penn State in is Penn State would have to beat Michigan or Ohio.
And the only reason why I say Penn State because they look like
they the one that would be left out more than
right now. Like I just said, Penn State off of what I've seen so far with Big Ten. Because Michigan and Ohio State look terrible. Penn State actually, even though their games are close, they look like the best school in the conference just on week 2.
But that's Penn State, so they always play.
Oh, I know they'll go at the end. Oh, yeah, they'll flood at the end.
Well, the thing about Oregon right now, Oregon don't look good, even though they wait to be touted.
They are waiting to be beat, man.
Honestly, the Trojans actually look better than Oregon looks right now.
Way better.
And honestly, they are probably more dangerous than Oregon is.
Yes.
Because you know how the Trojans have talent. It's just, can you put it all together and get it where it needs to be? So I feel like if Miami doesn't lose a game, gets to the championship game with Clemson, lose that game, both of them 11-1, 12-1 at that point, you got to put them in just because you want that dynamic. You want the Canes in. You want that tradition. Clemson's going in because they're the champion. But the thing is going to be, you're put Miami in a place where they would have to play somebody like Oregon or play somebody like a Penn State to get in. They what they're going to try to do, and you watch when the rankings start coming out. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of SEC schools, but it's going to be a lot of SEC schools that end up playing their way out like they always do, because Ole Miss is not going to go undefeated. You already know that. So you already know they're going to lose to somebody they ain't got no business losing
to. See, with the way the playoffs is, you can afford the 1 or 2 losses now, though.
Yeah, but the thing is this here. When you stack it up, if you look at the SEC right now, you say Texas is good, Georgia's good, Alabama's good. Them your three locks right there, okay? Then the question is, at that point, can Ole Miss make it 4? Oklahoma's already showed they're not going to be the 5.
No.
Who else? LSU's already showed they got issues. So you might only get 3 SEC schools. Okay. In the Big Ten, you already know Michigan stink. Okay. Which I knew was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if Michigan State can hang a little bit, they're not going anywhere. So it's really, you talk about Ohio State, Oregon, Southern Cal, maybe Washington.
No,
maybe. I'm just saying. Washington don't have to play nobody though.
The rivalry game that happens this weekend, right? That is going to be that is a toss-up to me between Washington State and Washington this weekend. Now, when it's going to happen in Lumen Field.
Well, I think it's going to be,
because
that school over there is early in the year. But honestly,
see, that school over there is going to be mad as hell. That
I know,
because I'm with this too. I don't know how the governor let one school go one way, both state-supported schools, and you left the other school with no option at all. So that school on the other side of the mountain, because we call it, that's on Washington's broken in two. The other side of the mountain is nothing like this side, which is, the tech and all that.
Right.
That school on the other side of the mountain is going to be the motivation out of their ass to say, come and play and compete, because not only did you left me, you ain't even try to get me in a conference. Nowhere. Us and Oregon State are just dangling. And we're supposed to be state-supported schools.
Well, now, the other part of that is whatever the last remnants of the Pac-12, the Pac-2, the deal fell through with the Mountain West. So that let me know right there, you wasn't really trying to put yourself in a positive position, because I hope you didn't think that the schools that left the Pac-12 to go to the Big Ten was coming back to the Pac-12, because that wasn't
no.
That ship is safe.
They were trying to get into a conference. Then the AD from Washington State left to go to UW.
Right.
You can't make this shit up. And I'm like, you got to provide to me, especially if you're state-supported school, at those levels, some sort of stability for the other school. You have totally destabilized one of your schools.
Well, but see, if they would have been smart, I would have begged the Mountain West to let me in, because you could have dominated the conference in every sport. That's why I didn't understand why y'all still held out this theory or feeling we can still keep the Pac-12 together. The Pac-12 is dead. Let it go, bro. Let it go. It's gone.
For me, both of my boys graduated now still at UW at University of Washington. I'm just always like, if you got state supported, I don't know how you shit on one school. How you could just, that's to me is just some type of gross negligence. Like you said, if the governor and the chancellor would have stepped in, especially for the Mountain West, and would have said, hey, Mountain West, let's get you in, can you, work with us to work with us to get Washington State and Oregon State into a conference, before this. I'm pretty sure that would have happened, but I'm thinking this is just a case of gross negligence.
It is terrible leadership, because at least Utah and the Arizona schools and who else went with them? Colorado.
UCLA
and Colorado.
Like Cuomo
at least
said,
they were smart enough to think, hey, let's go to the Big 12 before things get bad.
And Cuomo made sure Cal got into the ACC.
Well, that was the smart
move. Not Cuomo, what's the Newsom? Newsom made sure as the legislator, because remember, Newsom said, you're not just taking USC and not taking UCLA, right? And so that is something that because they are actually the head of everything for a state-supported school. That's the same thing I was like, who is Inslee? Up here should have said, hey, do something, but one of these things have to go. And also, what's the name said, before all this is settled, Cal has to have a place, and Cal's place became our place, which is the ACC. And they could have did that, but I just think it was negligence, and also the speed at which all this went down caught a lot of folks off guard.
Well, if the Pac-12 would have just took the money when ESPN offered it, they'd still be together, but they wouldn't do it. Because they thought they supposed to get $50 million, and there was no way you were getting $50 million.
No,
nobody was giving you $50 million for nothing. Okay. So when that fell through, you had no other plan. That put it on streaming was not gonna work, because nobody wants to watch that. So I mean, if you already paying for streaming, why am I gonna do that to get extra games? I don't need that. I'm already paying for stuff. you know. All right, so wrap up this college thing right quick. One more question. Is Deion gonna stay at Colorado?
I don't think Deion is so. I hate doing this on. Based on what I've seen so far, I don't know what kind of job Deion gets offered after this. I don't want to say. Like I said, I don't see. It is pomp and circumstance as opposed to substance for me. You get your money, you get your NIL offers, kind of padded and all of that, but you get 4 and whatever on the field, 4 and 8, 4 and 9. And so I don't, if he goes, what is who would really want that, especially an established school?
I don't think an established school would want him, but the narrative that is being pushed down here is if Norvell falls flat on his face at Florida State, Florida State should go get Deion. I don't believe in that because Florida State has enough issues as it is. If Florida State falls flat, they already know, me personally, they're not going to any other conference. We can go on and chalk that one up right now. Okay. So that means you got to stay here in the ACC. I don't see Deion, honestly, what Deion did at Jackson State was a product of it being Jackson State.
What did he do? Like last time I checked, we beat that ass in the Hall of Fame. What is it that all this Jackson State?
He
destroyed that team in that game.
He got good players.
Watched the Jackson State game until that game because I wanted to see what the hype was, and the hype was my school, not that damn school.
Well, he got good players to go to Jackson State. That was the whole premise of that. Now, you got beat 2 years in a row for the Black National Championship because North Carolina Central got you, South Carolina State got you. But historically, like I've said before, typically when you get to the Celebration Bowl, the MEAC schools have dominated that game over the years, just because it's a little more serious for the MEAC schools than it is for the SWAC schools. Okay. The other part of it is with everything that's been surrounding that whole program, and you hear things and you say that might be true, that might not be true, all of that. He has not proven to me as a fan looking at this that he can sustain building a team for years and years and keeping that team at an upper echelon, because I don't want to hear the narrative that, well, it's at Colorado. Well, you got to remember, 30 years ago, Colorado was a power. So it's not like it cannot be done in Colorado.
Well, let me ask this question. I always, play the left side of the coin. Do you think it's because of today's players and who Deion is? Deion is flashy and all that stuff, but not one person can say he didn't understand the game and know the game and can teach the game. So is it his approach to it and the kids not wanting to listen, or did it heaping unfair expectations?
I think he's treating football as transactionary, meaning if you're not good, you're replaced. And so you never have a team. You have free agents. And by junior year, generally, your offensive line, last part of their sophomore, junior year, you start to gel. And that's when you make a run. When that trench get good and they get, and Deion is not going to let a person flag or flail to me that long to give the cohesion time to happen. And so each year it's a new roster. It's almost a totally new turnover. And treating it as transaction, that's why I'm saying he treats it as transactionary. And football, you need to build that culture and get something sustained. And so, this is not basketball one and done. This is football. It's a web. The thing moves. Right. And so I just think he doesn't have the patience. That's why great players make terrible effing coaches, because they don't understand why you're not as good as them.
Yeah. So in other words, you're saying he's on the other side of the coin of Dabo. Dabo doesn't even want to deal with NIL. Deion is like, okay, if you're not doing it, I'll bring somebody else in who can. Exactly. So he's going to suffer the same fate just on the other end.
Yep. Just look at the history. He replaced the whole, and I said offensive line because he replaced the whole offensive line this year. And it was based on NIL and all of that stuff. And so I don't know if he gives it enough time to make a team go from not looking so good, like Dabo's, the team that rounded into the national championship team. He just doesn't have the pace, and great play. Magic sucked as the Lakers coach because you don't understand. Mike, if you're really good as a player, it is very hard because for you don't understand why you just can't do this.
So let's dive a little deeper into that too, because it's got to be a connection with that player too. You got to be able to connect with that player and take time to learn that player, to know what his triggers are and what they aren't. You can't coach everyone the same way. So I guess that's my point. I mean, you playing football, you should be hard nosed to be able to take whatever comes your way because I mean that's the way of life. It's a gladiator sport, but
it's different now.
No more, man.
That's what I was getting to. You know, back then we could do it, but now you got some divas. So
look at when we were coming up, you get called everything but a child of God. Okay,
exactly.
And you're supposed to take that, and not react to it. Now you do that, they go in a cocoon, bro.
Yeah, the shell is hard.
So it's not like the lean on me effect where Robert Guillaume told Morgan Freeman, contrary to popular belief, I am the HNIC. Let's go get something to eat.
Right.
That's how it used to be. Let's go get something to eat.
Now there's an explanation that, like I said, I don't, and this is why I hate the term raise your kids like you were raised, because that world don't exist no more. If I was to raise my kids like I was raised, they would be unemployed with no skills. So that whole thing is, man, I'm gonna raise them like I was raised. No, I can't do that. That's number one.
They wouldn't be living with you because they would just call social services. Because, hey, when I was growing up,
I always tell my boys it still takes 5 to 10 minutes for them to get here. So if you want to get your ass whooped from between them getting here and that, make your call. But anyway, I digress. No, but it's about positive reinforcement now. That's the only kind of way because if you get down and get on that, like T said, that cocoon, even if they're good, they just start wrapping up into that cocoon and they freeze.
Yeah, they are of the generation of the participation trophy. And see, because of that, they've never been coached hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because they've never been coached hard, they struggle. And that is what's wrong with this generation. The last, probably the millennials and the Generation Z, they did not benefit from hard time.
No.
They don't know what adversity is. So when they do get a little bit of adversity, it causes them tremendous issues because they don't know how to, and see, they've never been left out there to hang like we were. You know what I mean? Figure it out. There's never been no figured out for them. See, somebody always had them by the hand. Us, get thrown to the wolves, figure it out. And
another socioeconomic thing, they don't hear a male voice all the time. That is when a man speaks, it's just different. We all know. And that's another thing. They aren't around. We know the fate of our society, what we're in. And you don't hear that male. You don't hear that male voice anymore. And so when you don't hear that, and then when that male voice is on your ass because you messed up in a drill or whatever, that really is like the voice, and then you're getting fussed at. And so the cocoon is really formed at that time.
So it's interesting you said that because I don't know if y'all remember hearing it, but that's what Deion said he wanted. He wanted those kids from the inner city that were hungry, one-parent household, because he felt they were made from something different. Yeah. But
it's not
that, what you just said explains it.
And like I told people, that is for me.
Explained. Yeah.
And I always call bullshit on that, Kels, because both of my sons were raised, and because I was able to do something, right? They never had to struggle because I was able to do something. Right. But I also stayed on that ass. It's also up to the parents to make sure that you tell them, like I tell Junior and Donovan all the time, like Bill Cosby said, no, I got money. You ain't got shit.
Exactly.
I have a lot. Yes, I've been able to do some things, making my way out here to Seattle, being with Microsoft. But y'all, you are at the mercy of every command that comes out of my mouth.
Exactly.
But a lot of people want to be friends with the kids instead of being, and also if you go talk to my boys now who are 25 and 24, you ask them who their best friend is, it's their dad. Because they know. even with all of that, there's also the thing is, I'm your dad. They watch sports. We all sports household. We're fanatics on that. So you can discipline and still get down, but also remember there's a respect level. This is my house. You will do what I say, and if you don't, there's the United States military, and there is homelessness. You pick the two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But a lot of that don't happen, as you know, Kel. And so you don't hear that. You hear the coddling. You and even, like you said, and with folks. So to me, that's an individual parent thing, because most of us even now are the first ones out.
Right.
So you ain't forget how to do that. Like for me, like I'm out, but I ain't forget that the man, you know, like for me, oh, you're gonna respect me in my house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, now we're a unique trio just because of the fact we all have it the way that it's supposed to be. You know, we married, we have kids, our kids, we the head of the house, our kids fall in line behind that. A lot of these kids that come along, they don't have that. They don't see that. And that's why they struggle so much, because of the fact they either any male figure that's been in their life has been there to take advantage of them, not show them what's right, what's wrong. We are of the mind we can look at our kids and just look at them, and they already know what they already know.
Right.
Everybody don't see that, but see, even sometimes even now, sometimes I look at mine, I'm like, all right now, he grown, but at the same time, all right now, you ain't, I'm still pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be like, okay now, and then to be able to sit them down and have the right kind of conversation, because what they doing ain't nothing brand new, because we all done it.
That's it.
So
new under the sun. Yeah.
It's just telling them, yo, this is how you might want to look at this, because you already know every last one of them got a friend. You be like, yo, you don't need to hang with him, and you be like, why? Just, you don't need to hang with him. And then they realize they'll come back to you later on. You know what, Pop? You right. I ain't
right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, I know. I said, I ain't, and you ain't got to go no further than that. You ain't even got to ask what happened, but it's gonna happen. You already know.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Yeah. It's gonna be something that they gonna do, and it's gonna be foul as I don't know what. And then but everybody don't have that. So for society as a whole, we have to get that turned around some kind of way. And the thing about it is just being presence in everyone that you come in contact life, because you ain't got to be their dad, but you gotta let them understand that, okay, I'm somebody that you're supposed to respect, not because I'm older, but because of how I treat you and how I try to demonstrate things to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna sum it all up in one word: accountability.
There you
Everybody needs to be accountable.
There you go.
That's just the bottom line.
Exactly.
Yep. So since the schedule so stank on college this week, I ain't even gonna go over it. Let's go straight on into the NFL. Cool. Y'all paid Dak.
Yes, sir.
You paid Dak. Well, $231 million guaranteed. How you feel, bro? How you feel?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and break the game down and tell you how I feel. First of all, congratulations to the Cowboys for winning. That was, and I'm conflicted on this because I watched the game. Deshaun was running the whole game, so I really don't know how good our defense is. Mike Zimmer, I think he's a step up from Dan Quinn. They did, to me, seem to play a little more discipline. But at the same time, the Browns' offensive line was decimated because Deshaun was running for his life. And then when he was open and he made some good throws, everybody had butterfingers. Nobody could catch anything. So it's kind of, I'm still waiting to see that one game to see the true Cowboys. But I mean, Dak did okay. And I'm gonna use Cam's term. He was a good game manager. There were some plays that were a little suspect, but the biggest surprise to me was, hey, Zeke is back. He came out the gate hurdling. He's just a natural fit there. I mean, he picked up where he left off because he was never a 100-yard game guy anyway. Every once in a while he would eclipse that, but he did the stuff in the trenches to keep the ball moving. So that's the biggest uptick we need, but we just need to have somebody to step up behind him. I think Donald can do it, but I'm still up in the air on both sides of that. I think the pressure is a little bit heavier on that because I mean, let's be real. The last 3 seasons, the regular season, Dak gonna do what Dak gonna do. And I saw a lot of comparisons to him and Mahomes and overall record, percentage, touchdowns, interceptions, all that's well and good. But the difference between Dak and Mahomes is Mahomes can win in the postseason. Dak has yet to prove that he can win in the postseason. So I even saw another statistic was saying, well, we're judging Dak off of we're scrutinizing Dak too much and all these other players out there haven't done what he's done or they're in the same boat. But everyone that they listed, I think Trevor Lawrence, Jackson, forgot a couple more guys they mentioned. They've all advanced farther than that in the postseason. So to me, it's like Dak is playing with house money, but because either way he's gonna get paid. But I just it's a lot of lofty expectations. I mean, the O-line did pretty good for him. He wasn't really running for his life. Cleveland defense is supposed to be good, but he never really was rattled that much in that game. We'll see what happens next week, but I just and really on defensive line, the only thing they had to do was account for Myles Garrett, and he was okay. Once you get him out of the way, you're fine. But I need to see Dallas get challenged, and the way I don't even think it's gonna happen next week. I think they'll win next week because the Saints played the Panthers. They put up some major numbers. Don't know, but we'll see. But I'm happy for him, but he needs to pay Trey Lance. But Trey Lance is he made sure Dak got paid because he played so bad. Dak got paid, but still, I'm not too happy on him because to me now, we're paying him that money. You got to make it to the Super Bowl. There's no other excuse. None. Now, is that gonna happen? We all know the answer to that, but no.
For his salary for that's relative to the salary cap. See, this is what because the next quarterback salary is going to be bigger than that. I don't know why we get caught up in what somebody signed for because it's all based on revenue. Next year's salary cap is going to go up more than it was this year. So the next quarterback, who's the team's quarterback, will be paid more than Dak. So I don't get into that because it's all proportional to the salary cap. Because if you play it right and you do your numbers, when you did that, you know that next year will go up. You don't know exactly, but you should know within some sort of range where it goes and start planning ahead. But what a quarterback signs for, or what some player signs for at the position, is all based on what the revenue that the league is bringing in. And so the league is booming. These salaries are right in conjunction with what the league revenue is. Like I say, people complain about NBA salary. The NBA salary is based on the revenue that is brought in, and the revenue is looking good. The NBA players get a bigger chunk, but again, it's based on the revenue that is brought in. Go ahead, T.
Now I will say from the NBA side of things, now some of these cats making some money, they ain't that type of player, okay?
No, but
I understand
because
they
you have a bottom, though, T, remember, they put in the rule in baseball and basketball where the bottom. Remember, the teams weren't spending no money and they were just getting the collective money. And so you're right. But if you leave it up to like Donald Sterling back in the day, he wasn't going to spend the team.
Nobody was getting,
some of these, they are just filling out a roster because they have to spend the money.
Right.
And because you had a lot of them piggybacking off of the teams like the Knicks, the Lakers, Boston or whatever. And so that's why I'm like, yes, they don't. But you had some teams that they knew no bottom. Because I remember one time the Marlins had a $30 million payroll for a baseball team.
Yeah.
And they were sucking all the Yankees and Red Sox in their money.
Yeah.
Second thing about quarterback, and then I leave it alone. Dak is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. We know why we're hearing about Justin Fields and Russell, because they are the quarterbacks of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I say with Dak and the rest of the teams, Dak, do you really want to start over? I tell people, once you start going down the new quarterback route, you start like, we're going to shut this down and start over. And for that team, like, we'll get to this in a minute. I don't know, who do you want? Who would you get? Like, damn sure don't want Aaron Rodgers from what you saw. So who would you get? And Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are not an option. For the rest of the quarterback, who is it that's better that you want?
For me, is more in line of it's give and take. Yeah, the salary cap is going up next year, but if you truly talk about winning championships, the only person I could say who would garner that much money and still be able to win a championship, because if you're getting paid that much money, even the salary cap going up, somebody's gonna be left out. You're gonna be thin somewhere.
Oh
Because
yeah.
if that person gets that money, that person gets the money. So I'm looking at it from a Tom Brady side. Tom Brady took less so he can bring more talent in. And then once he started winning, he could ask for more because people want to come play and they'll take less to come so he can make more.
Never took
So it's kind of
less.
like Jordan when he was in there. So,
That
with
is
Mahomes can play all he wants to because he's gonna make everybody around him better. He's a proven winner, and so for me, I'm like, Dak hadn't done that yet. And then we need to be able to bring in some other pieces. Because we know CD is gonna disappear in the playoffs. Michael's probably gonna be the only one who's gonna be on defense doing anything. So it's like we gotta be able to bring some more players in. So to me, but I'm not telling the man not to go get his money or do something different, but it's gotta make sense at some point. That's the only thing I would say about it.
What Kel said, I think it makes sense just because of the fact it was his turn. That's the way I look at it. It was his turn, and then at the same time, Jerry couldn't let Dak go into this season as a lame duck, because if you let Dak walk, okay, the Raiders would jump on him now. You know what I mean? Because they need a quarterback. Now
I would take that for the Bucks. You let him go if you want to. I would take that.
You wouldn't even do that. And see, the thing is, the Cowboys are in the same position that the Steelers are in. You're not going to be sorry enough to get a high draft pick.
Yeah.
So unless you give up a lot of draft capital, and it makes no sense to give up draft capital when you don't have to. Okay. So that's why I was glad we did what we did with Russ, because we don't owe him nothing. And we did what we did with Justin Fields, because even if Justin Fields turns out to be a halfway decent quarterback, I don't have to give him no big major deal. I just got to give him some money. I can get by. I can get by with giving Justin Fields. I can give him the same deal that Danny Dimes has right now, and that'll be a perfectly good deal.
But your whole organization is built a little bit different, though.
I understand that, but at the same time, when we had Ben, we made sure Ben got paid.
Ben got paid. That's what I'm about to say now, T.
We didn't make him the highest paid, but we made sure he got paid.
But Justin Fields do not, T, and you know this. If Justin Fields performs to level, he's gonna get paid. Now he may not be. He's going to get at least. I will tell you this: he was going to be in at least $175 million range if he performs. He has to, because he is his agent. What you? There's a union. There's a union, and there's representation.
I understand.
They're gonna make sure they don't get shedded.
But this is the thing about Justin, though. Like I say, you can get by with Justin with a Daniel Jones type deal, paying him about anywhere from 35 to 40 a year. You can get by with that, okay, and still be comfortable. You don't have to pay him top end quarterback money, because he's not going to be worth top end quarterback money.
But top end quarterback comes. But see, you're comparing it to the top end quarterback money next year. $150 million is wrecked. That's going to be awful.
But even with that, Dave, I would not give him 50. No way would I approach 50 with Justin Fields. At no point would I approach 50. For you to be at 50, you got to be in the upper echelon of quarterbacking. You got to be from let's see who I think which card is at 48 million. Kirk Cousins is at 48 million. I wouldn't even have Justin at 48 million, because this is what I see with Justin, and the same thing that we saw Sunday. Justin is going to be able to get yards running the football. We already know that. If he gets anywhere from 150 to 250 yards, he's having a good day. What I don't need him to do is don't fumble the football. Don't throw interceptions. Keep us in the game, because one thing we've already proven, my defense is going to keep us in games. I don't need you to be Pat Mahomes. I don't need you to be that, okay? Because we already know, ain't but one. That's all it is, okay? What I don't want Justin to be is Lamar. The moment too big for you, because that's Lamar's problem, and it has been his problem all the time. The moment gets too big for Lamar, he's not gonna do. He'll make some spectacular plays. I've seen it since he left Louisville. He'll make spectacular plays. He'll do all these things or whatever. But when it comes down to it, and he needs to make a play to win the game, just like last Thursday night, as you saw.
I know.
Zay Flower wide open in the end zone.
I tried. Oh man, I tried with Lamar.
Wide open in the end zone.
Because I want him to win a Super Bowl. I swear, just because
Lamar is not going to win the Super Bowl. Because let me tell you why. Okay, and I'm going to say this as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, not because I hate the Ravens. I respect the Ravens as an organization, but I'm just going to be real about this here. Lamar cannot win when it matters. That has been his MO since he has been in college. If you go all the way back to the Louisville days, when he had the opportunity to beat Clemson, he did not. Something always happens. That is the thing about Lamar. Any game that he plays in, yeah, he makes spectacular plays, all of this and all of that. But when it comes time to actually make a play to win the football game, he's going to screw it up some kind of way. And you can make excuses all you want. Yeah, I know he was only out by a toe. But what about the 2 passes before that?
And the reason why, see, when you say that, T, you come up from a place of genuine critique. And what I would say is constructive criticism. Reason why I want him to win is because you have people saying what you're saying, but it ain't coming from that place. You know what I'm talking about.
Know where it's coming from.
Coming from that other place.
But
the reason why I want him to win is for the folks who say that, T, everything you said is exactly true. He couldn't win. I'm a Clemson fan. He couldn't win against Clemson. The moment I watched it, because like I wanted him to step up on this Monday night game. And when he missed Zay, T, the same thing came to my mind. Anytime the big moment comes, it seems to be too big. But see, T, when you say it, like I said, you're coming from a place of constructive football criticism. When the others are saying it, it's that hidden couch message of just like, and that's why I'm rooting for him just to win, to get that shit and that narrative that the natural born African American quarterback can't be trusted to run a franchise. Pure African, I'm gonna just put it out, a pure African American cannot run a franchise. And I want him to be a descendant of slave owners that wins the Super Bowl. Now I know I took it to a whole nother level, but I'm bringing that back to T. You're coming from a place of love and constructive criticism. Them cats who do that on the national media, they're coming from a place of hatred and a whole thing of they want to keep the in place.
Well,
from day one. See, I told you.
This is the thing about Lamar, and like I say, I've seen it enough to know. Okay. Now he's gonna go down in history as a great quarterback. Not gonna take anything from him. He got 2 MVPs, not gonna take anything from him. But here is the thing, okay? You playing in an era with Mahomes, okay? That's a different level. That's a level that's beyond, and people get mad when I say this, but that's beyond Brady, that's beyond Montana, that's beyond any of them. That's different.
So you talking about 80s basketball again, Jordan, and there was Drexler, the Barkley, everybody was good.
No.
They ain't that good.
No. This here is that little boy from the first time he got on the field. I know when I saw it, ain't a nothing like him in this world. I already knew that. Okay? Take that out. Okay? What Lamar has to be, what Josh Allen has to be, what Trevor Lawrence has to be, what Dak Prescott has to be. You got to be better than them at that point. And here's the thing, okay? There's only one coach I feel like that can stand up when they got everything completely right to Andy Reid, and that might be Mike Tomlin, okay? Forget San Francisco, they can't do it. They already
wait. Before we go down that road, T, we beat that ass in the Super Bowl. We already did.
But I'm just saying.
We did it with your former coach, with you guys off.
But see, this is the thing about the Bucs, though, okay?
I just want to put that out there. No, I say that's so bad because I was in the Applebee's and everybody talking. Cowboys. And I said Bucks, and I'm like, I said you wasn't even born when they won, and my team that won 2 Super Bowls while your mama titty was still in your mouth.
But Dave, you know as well as I do, that Super Bowl, had he had a competent offensive line, he would have lit y'all up.
No, listen, here you go. No, I don't give a damn who was on that line. Sue and Vita, you were not doing shit on that defense.
David A.
You weren't running the ball at all.
David A. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now.
Well, we could say what history would have done.
What? Y'all won. You won the Super Bowl. You won the Super Bowl. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, D. Here's the thing, honestly. Okay. But when you put it,
so we scored 40-some points, didn't we?
I understand that. But again,
we scored 40-some.
Again, offensive line was depleted. I'll say that. But let's go here. All right. Let's go here. You look at Lamar, okay? I give you a better example right now, okay? Who in first place in the AFC North?
But y'all are. We won, right?
You know why? What I got? What I got that the other three teams in the division don't have?
A defense and a coach.
You got Mike
Tom. A defense and a coach. You know why? Yeah. Because that is how we play football. Okay. Lamar got all the talent in the world. Lamar got a losing record against the Steelers. Okay.
Look.
Joe Burrow. Everybody loved Joe Burrow.
Not me.
You lost on Sunday.
Past week.
Not me.
Not this past week.
I'm just saying. No. I'm talking about the media types. The media types love Joe Burrow. They're always comparing him to Mahomes. Stop that. You ain't Mahomes.
That's because he won that game. That one game.
That's because he had early success against him.
You ain't Mahomes. If you're not gonna give Pat his due, and this is the thing, Mahomes is different. Mahomes is Jordan. Mahomes is Barry Bonds. You know what I'm saying? You not. They not like us. They not like us. Here's the thing. Until Lamar does it. Because again, remember, everybody talking about the last few plays, but let's remember something. Halfway through the fourth quarter, they were down by 2 touchdowns. Again, couldn't move the ball. What did Lamar do? He do what he normally do. Oh, I'm gonna make some plays here and there because you know why? Ain't no pressure on you. But soon as you get to a situation where I need to score,
we can win this thing.
You already knew. Before he even went down the field on that last drive, you already knew they ain't gonna win this football game. I already knew that. I already knew they weren't gonna win the football game. Just because I have seen him do this time after time after time. If the game is tight and he needs a score, he's gonna find a way to lose this game. You already know. Last year when they played us before he got hurt and he threw the interception in the end zone, had no business throwing the football. Last year in the playoff game, you throw in the triple coverage. Come on, man. Triple coverage. You make it hard on yourself. You make it hard where people have to defend you because of how you play the game. Not because of what you do. Same thing about Dak. Regular season, Dak is unstoppable. Oh, he looks great. He's great. He's fine. Playoff time, let's go back up in his stomach, bro, because he be scared. Because he's scared.
It's a regular game.
If like the thing I say with like when you think about Super Bowl, really it's Mahomes and even Dak, any other quarterback, and outside of Lamar, you all fall into the same bucket to me. I mean, everybody is really shooting for that. Me and the boys were talking. It's Mahomes to me. Like we rank. I don't know. You got Mahomes to me. Lamar is second, and out of that. When you talk about the rest of the quarterbacks, to me, you can drop all of them in the bucket, shuffle them around, and you get about the same thing. I saw it. I mean, Josh Allen, maybe, but I got to see.
No.
But again, they're all the same to me.
No,
I don't see no real. All of them shake out the same. Even you know, back in the day, like you had all the great quarterbacks, but then, like, say you had Marino, who never won anything, but you knew it was Marino, right? And the Rocket belief in the best game I ever seen in the '85 Monday night game. But you had like these things where people, I can't tell you after Lamar and Mahomes, The rest of the quarterbacks is based on situation. I can't say I could take this quarterback and no matter what, he's gonna be good on any team he's on. Because it ain't none of them.
Well, when we started doing this podcast, I said this year this was gonna be the Super Bowl. Now that one of them that got hurt, I'm kind of feeling kind of bad about that because I said it was gonna be Mahomes versus Green Bay. Only because I saw in Jordan Love the same thing I saw in Mahomes. Jordan Love can play football. Now that he done got hurt, that's kind of gonna put them at a disadvantage because they can't stand to lose a few more games, and they got a big game this week because playing the Colts is gonna hurt. Not having Jordan Love, that's gonna hurt. But in the NFC, I have more faith. In the NFC, I have more faith in Jordan Love. I have more faith in Matthew Stafford. I have more faith.
That's 1 year though. Stafford got about a year left.
Still, if he make it through.
So let's get Stafford away because Stafford got like a year. So
but he got a coach. But he got a coach though. He got a coach.
Oh, I didn't say him not a coach. No, he's great. But let's take Stafford out. I mean, the dude is because he barely made it through the game on Monday night.
If you can't, last year it took Mahomes to have to show y'all I can go on the road and win a playoff game. He didn't done that.
I have already said Mahomes is way past Brady.
But what I'm saying is, when you look at the rest of them in the conference, in the AFC, okay, you already know right now, okay, because of who everybody was all high on and everything when the season started, okay, let's go on and get Cincinnati out of there. I told you they're going to be garbage. They garbage. Okay, let's go on and get Aaron Rodgers and the Jets out of there. I told you they're going to be garbage. Okay, all right, so you already know all roads to the Super Bowl in the AFC go through Kansas City. All right, who's going to step up? Buffalo has an opportunity, but I ain't so sure because they shouldn't have won on Saturday.
They have no players.
On Sunday.
I don't see
they have no players.
And then Miami's not going anywhere because Tua ain't gonna sustain it. I already know. Okay. All right. Yeah. So who does that leave? Okay. Harbaugh needs players. Give him 2-3 years. He'll be ready to fight for the West at that point. Okay. So that still leaves John Harbaugh, which you already know. If he don't win the division, that means he got to go wild card round. You don't want to play them early. Steelers win his division because I know that's what's going to happen because you're going to mess around and let Mike do his magic. They're going to win the division. Guess what? Pittsburgh goes out to Kansas City. We ain't going to beat them. I can go and tell you that right now because Mahomes going to light us up like a Christmas tree. Put him in the Super Bowl because you already know there's nobody in the AFC going to do anything with Kansas City.
I already said I don't bet against them. Like when the season starts, and if Andy Reid, as long as Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are together, they are penciled in as the Super Bowl test for me every year. I mean, that's just how it starts.
Yeah.
If those two are together, they will be the Super Bowl test.
Now I'm gonna put one caveat to that though. One caveat.
I mean,
watch out for Houston. Watch out for Houston because they don't know no better. They don't know no better, and DeMeco Ryans is a coach. Yeah. I love it. They don't know no better. DeMeco Ryans is a coach. Now they can go in there and win a game because they don't know no better because they hard-headed.
One thing can stop them though.
What?
Number one.
Who? Stephon.
If he go down there with the diva mentality, one thing that can stop.
Well, see, the thing is, they had to show out Sunday to beat the Colts because I'm telling you now,
Colts are tough out.
Colts is gonna be a problem.
Tough out, man.
Colts is gonna be a problem. If Anthony Richardson can stay healthy, they gonna be a problem. Okay. Yeah. But I like DeMeco Ryans. I like the defense. I like where they're going. Now they ain't gonna be enough to beat. They ain't gonna be enough to beat Mahomes.
If the offensive line can control the game, I mean they got good running back, but here again, Mahomes don't need like 30 seconds, so you can control the game all you want.
Kelsey.
I mean, you're right. Never mind.
Last year was your best time. If you was gonna get Kansas City last year was the time to get him because now he got a weapon. He got a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay?
And that's why I wanted y'all to make a harder push. So for me, there's two things I wanted to happen for the football this year. I want Lamar to hopefully win the Super Bowl. And if he doesn't win, the next person I want is Tomlin, because as I told you guys on last podcast, he's in my Mount Rushmore of coaches, so they can shut up about him getting fired. So for my two things, and that has nothing to do with my team. What my vision is, I guess, I don't know, is I want him to win just because I want that whole narrative to shut the hell up. I want that to win because I want that whole narrative to shut the hell up. You never get this man nothing, and he ends up being 8-8, 9-8.
Well,
and I wanted you guys to get Ayuk because I would say now you got finally get a star, and you pay him for a couple of years just to get your Super Bowl and to get him the hell on. Bro, and there you go, because Tomlin don't need nothing, but I want him to get that one more Super Bowl.
That ain't the Steelers' way, okay? And then on top of that, I didn't want Brandon Ayuk because I don't think he's worth the money. I think he's a product of the San Francisco system, period.
But he'd be a good compliment to Pickens, though.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
As you saw on Sunday, George Pickens don't need no help. He don't need no help.
That wasn't pass interference. I do agree with that.
Look here, he don't need no help. George Pickens is a beast by himself. Now,
what I worry about though is if you do that, you start talking about thinness, because also in the NFL, as we know, it's how you make it towards they're healthy. Like, do you lose your quarterback? Do you lose your left tackle? Watching the blind side. So it's all about that health. And so what I'm saying, if you get Ayuk right, and he doesn't work out, you get at least a depth person. What concerns me sometimes with Pittsburgh, because Tomlin coaches so well, and that's the gift and the curse. They think you can give them anything and it's going to work, and it generally does. But you get so thin, and you get like this drop off that happens, where if somebody gets hurt, it's just a big drop off to the next person.
Well, I'll say this here: the reason why the Steelers haven't been successful in a few years, we waited too long with Ben to get somebody to back him up because you didn't want to disrespect Ben. But here's the thing. Because the only reason we got Ben Roethlisberger was Bill Cowher went 5-11 that year. Okay. That is the only reason we picked number 11 that year. After that, we didn't pick number 11 anymore and haven't picked since then. That was in 2003. Okay. That will not happen ever again. Okay. As long as Mike is there, because one of the things the Steelers consistently do, we know how to draft players. We do not give up draft picks for people because of the fact we feel like we do a better job of getting our players and developing them over time. Now, where we have failed the last few years is we've had some knuckleheads playing wide receiver for us that have caused us not to go to the Super Bowl because of the dumb stuff that they've done on and off the field. Okay. So Deontay Johnson, that's why he's in Carolina. Antonio Brown, that's why we had to finally get rid of it. Because think about it like this. Remember when we had the killer bees, when we had
Brown,
David Bryant, Antonio Brown, Ben, Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Ain't won nothing. Nothing. Because you know why? Had a bunch of divas. It was more about whatever they had going on than what we needed to have going on winning. Okay. Now we back to playing Steeler football. It's about the defense. All I need is for you not to turn the football over, Russell or Justin. Don't turn the football over. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if Justin go out here on Sunday, win another football game, Russ is never playing in Pittsburgh.
We said that. Yeah, he will not see the field.
He's never playing in Pittsburgh.
He's never playing. He will never be a starting quarterback in the NFL again.
No,
that's it.
No. If anything, I would trade him, see what we can get.
I think the best thing is to hold him and cut him at the end of the season. You owe him nothing. I mean, literally, you guys owe him nothing. Just cut him.
So it's one of those things. It's one of those things right now where just do what you're supposed to do. Because the best thing that happened Sunday was everybody lost in the division, and I automatically said, "Oh, it's already over with," because of the fact. Remember,
you're welcome. Oh,
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Because my thing is this here, just like I said, we only lost one game in the division last year, and that was a fluky Monday night game, the way we fumbled the ball away against the Browns last year. We would have been 6-0 in the division. We don't lose in the division. We own the Browns. We own the Ravens. We own the Bengals. Joe Burrow ain't doing nothing.
We looked it up yesterday, me and Donovan, and the Ravens are 1-8 against the Steelers in the last 10 years.
I
wanted to look it up because they were talking, because TU made me, once you told me they owned them, I do remember them winning. And then we looked it up for the last 10 years. They smoke the Ravens. And that is crazy to me, because Ravens, they successful franchise, got a couple Super Bowls here, and to be smoked, like if you go look, it's a funny dynamic.
Since Ray and Ed have retired, they can't beat us no more.
Yep.
That is the difference in that right now. Since Ray and Ed haven't retired, they cannot beat us anymore. Okay, so like I say, I respect the Ravens for who they are, but they can't beat us. Bengals already knew Joe Burrow.
Because you guys beat Atlanta, and I thank you for that. Now they made up one tied.
But that leads us into this here. How long before Michael Penix is starting in Atlanta?
I will say this. After the bye week.
Yeah, and that's what week 4.
I did not know Kirk Cousins.
I think it's week 6. I think it's week 6.
Yeah, because he really hadn't practiced, and he's like Dave said, he's immobile right now because of that.
Yeah, like I didn't know that I knew about the injury, but I didn't know he didn't practice. He didn't do it. He just came in this game hot. Like I didn't know Kirk Cousins just came in this game, and this is his first real time playing football this year.
My thing is,
so that brings another question. Then why do they have more faith in Penix, or are they going with Kirk because they paid him?
No, do what you did with Patty Mahomes. You're supposed to set your first year. You're supposed to get a look at the NFL speed. You're supposed to do what Air McNair and the rest of them did. You take a look. You learn. People act like Patrick Mahomes was a rookie starter. I think it was even his second year he started, right?
He started his second year. Second year. First year he didn't start.
That's the way to do. Get your clipboard. Look at the speed of the NFL. Get the plays. That's how it used to be. Nobody judged you because you wasn't a rookie phenom.
Well,
but now somehow you forced to go from a thing that's just a totally different level, and you're supposed to perform. And you got Bryce Young having to live. I'm just using his name. Live up to starting quarterback standards. His first year in the NFL on a horrible ass team.
Yeah,
but he's the problem.
No, you're not a problem. No, everything else around him is a problem.
To learn. Patrick Mahomes, if you want to be Patty Mahomes, look at the playbook, go by the playbook, and then you might get some. But you're rushing these kids out here, and you want them to be all world from day one. Patty wasn't. He learned. He learned his offense. He learned what Andy Reid liked. He learned what Andy Reid did not like.
So
I'll learn the team first.
Now, the year before he got there, Andy Reid did make the playoffs with Alex Smith. So
Andy Reid will always
he had a competent player in front of him. Now, in the reverse of that, Michael Penix trying to learn from Kirk Cousins, is that really your best use?
It ain't your learning from Kirk. You're learning the speed of the game.
Your
coach's dislikes and likes. That's what you're learning. You're not learning from Cousins. You're learning the game at the NFL level. Well, especially for somebody who Penix. Remember, Penix didn't play for 3 years. He broke both his knees.
I know.
He tore both of his knees. Penix's first true year of playing was last year.
Well, the thing about Michael Penix, though, and what he has demonstrated since I've known him playing football, is that he has been an excellent player.
No, stop. Wait, T.
When he was in Indiana, come on, man.
Game was horrible performance.
When you win in that Indiana, come on.
The championship game, the championship game.
It was
okay. Wait a minute.
That concerns me. It's the Trevor Lawrence thing. If the last game I see you in, you perform like that, I don't know. Now you can overcome it, but
wait a minute.
Now we take this, and plus, I'm not putting that on. My whole thing is just learn the game at the NFL speed. It's nothing the matter with being a backup for 1 year and coming in. Why not see if the offensive line is porous? You want Penix taking them hits, or you want Cousins taking them hits? Let Cousins take them hits and leave the franchise away from it.
Well, here's the thing that's going to happen in Atlanta, though, and this is the factor that you're not putting into effect. Yeah, they're in a bad division, but if you mess around and you get too far behind, you're going to be in trouble, because here's the thing. Your two biggest rivals, which is Tampa and New Orleans, is 1-0. All right. You cannot afford to go 0-2.
Maybe 1-1 after next week.
You
New
cannot
Orleans be
afford to
1-1
go.
after next week.
But I'm just saying, you can't afford to go that way because here's the thing. If he's not playing well, if Kirk Cousins is not playing well, you owe it to the team because you got too much talent. If Kirk Cousins is stinking up the joint, bro, I wouldn't have gave him that money just because you coming off an Achilles, bro. That's a lot of money. Now, I was not saying that Michael Penix should start, but at the same time, you made the mistake of overpaying because you felt like you was a quarterback away. Now, heaven forbid, Desmond Ritter was terrible last year. If they had a quarterback last year, they should have made the playoff. Okay, but they didn't have quarterback address.
And you're right, man. Watching him in that pistol formation or whatever thing to keep his leg protected,
right?
That is going to be. If they
Everybody
go,
know it now.
like you said, I think it'll be the bye week. To your answer, he got to tell the bye week. And if they put him back there in that pistol, especially against the rivals, against the Bucks, and against the Saints with who's the rusher, Jordan Cameron.
Oh, Jordan.
That's his name.
Jordan and Mario Davis.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Bucks,
but you got the Eagles coming up
the middle, and it's just going to be a problem.
Well,
but you got the Eagles coming up. There ain't gonna be no easy.
To mess around. Now, what their good thing is, the Bucks have maybe one of the hardest schedules I've seen in the last 6. We played to everybody. Chiefs, the 49ers. I don't know how we got this, but hey, you play the schedule in front. And we play the Lions this week coming.
Yeah.
So that is the thing that the South has. But I'm already calling upset alert on the Lions game.
Well, I will say this here.
I got us on that game.
No, well, I'm gonna say this here. How the Lions won the game Sunday night. They played grown man football. And
yes, they did.
And they had the Rams to beat them. And bruh, if you gonna do that.
Hey, I love how old boy took the ball at the end of the game and ran the clock. Old Emmitt Smith style football.
Bruh.
Fourth quarter or overtime, give you the ball, you run it down, and you run it down their damn throat and run the clock out and score a touchdown. That's it. Man, that was some beautiful football.
That let the Rams know right there, you cannot replace Aaron Donald.
No.
Because that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened if Aaron Donald would have been there. You cannot replace Aaron Donald. The Rams, I thought the Rams were going to be a trendy pick to win the West, but after I saw that, you just got punked, bro.
But with that division, I always say it's going to be a winner and a wild card because that's generally what happens.
Well, they're going to make the wild card, but the thing is, you're going to the Rams will end up playing somebody like Dallas or somebody like whoever doesn't win the North, whether it's Green Bay or whether it's Detroit or Chicago. That's who they're going to end up playing in the playoffs. So I'm not looking at anything for it. The emergence of Saquon last week. If he gonna play like that, Giants need a behind kick for
he can stay healthy.
And the other thing is, I hope people saw this is how bad the Giants are as a franchise organization. What Tupac say? Franchise, organization, conglomerate, and entity. They are horrible, man. The Giants are horrible.
The Giants are just a step above the Panthers. Just a step.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot because Panthers right now are fundamentally the worst franchise in all of sports right now. And there's no
sports history.
I can't do sports history. No, we got a team in baseball that's pushing to have the worst record.
Well, the White Sox.
And the White Sox might be
the White Sox are pretty bad.
We've never seen.
White Sox ain't won 30 games yet, Kelsey.
Yeah, season almost over.
Season almost over. They ain't won 30 games, Kelsey. That's what I mean.
Like 28 games in a row.
Yeah, the White Sox. The White Sox are historically bad.
162 or 182.
162. Right? They ain't won but 30. I think they like 30 and 120, something like that. They horrible, bro.
The curse of Tony when they
Kelsey, you can fumble around and win a baseball game, okay? Yeah. You can fumble around and win a baseball game. That's how bad they are.
They must have a lot of errors, a lot
No,
of strikeouts.
they bad pitching can't hit. They actually playing. They not even playing. You know, the Charlotte Knights are their AAA franchise, right? The Knights are better than they are. They won't bring them up because they already know if you bring them up, it's gonna mess up the stuff. That's how bad they are. Basically playing the major league club with a AA franchise. That's how bad they are. And they're doing it on purpose. Yeah. And what makes you mad about them is Jerry Reinsdorf owns them just like he owns the Chicago Bulls. And what is famous for the Chicago Bulls and why they are struggling, Jerry, other than Michael Jordan, Jerry Reinsdorf never done anything in his whole professional owning life.
And remember, the White Sox were trending up with Tim, and then they hired Tony La Russa. And that's all went to hell.
Right.
It was trending up. Tim Anderson. I mean, and
he had a squad.
He goes and hired La Russa.
He had a squad.
Yeah.
All them players are gone.
Sale. Remember Chris Sale? All of them gone.
Because he made the playoffs, I want to say about 6 years ago, before they sent Sale to Boston. They were consistently making the playoffs. So I'm like, what did you do? You know, when you see that, and it's just like what Tepper's doing with the Panthers, man. But see, one thing I'm glad is that they've secured the Panthers to stay there for at least the next 20 years. So hopefully, you know, they can get this thing turned around. But it's going to be a long 0-17 is really a possibility.
Yeah.
Because from what I saw on Sunday, I know I've been saying they ain't got nothing, but bruh,
they ain't got nothing.
They ain't got nothing.
Nothing ain't even the best word I could put for them, bro.
It's another four-letter word, four-letter expletive you want to use. They ain't got. Yeah.
They got plenty of flies. They got plenty of flies because it stank, bro. I've never seen. I mean, even you can't even make a team up like this playing Madden, bro. I've never seen a team this bad. It's like your last 4 or 5 drafts, you can tell you've absolutely done nothing. You don't have nobody that you can sit there and be like, that player has potential to be.
I can build on him.
A Pro Bowler. No, he don't even have that, man.
I was telling my son T what you said last week, which is a great point when you said they never replaced the stars. Like if you go back and look through the history of like Stephen Davis, Cam. What you were saying about Steve Smith, same thing, Julius Peppers, McCaffrey, they've never really hit the second generation of the next and all of their existence. So that I'm saying the whole existence of the franchise. So if you go back from 96, I think is when they became the franchise.
From 95. Yeah.
95.
Yeah.
They never replaced that first generation of stars they accumulated. Like after that was and Christian McCaffrey was that's it. They still haven't replaced none of that. But I can say McCaffrey replaced Stephen Davis, different type of running back. But really, they've never replaced none of these people.
They haven't. Right. They went to the Super Bowl in 2003, and they went in 2012. 15. 15.
15 with 10. 15.
15. Okay. So out of all the teams that have came in expansion during that time, they're the only one that have been to 2 Super Bowls. So now, granted, Jerry Richardson wasn't the greatest owner. You know, he had some problems and issues here and whatever, but he had some foresight of what he wanted from a football team. Tepper is just a rich man with some money. He won't throw his money around, let everybody know, hey, I'm the owner or whatever.
That's an investment to him. That's all.
You are going to be picking no lower than 5 for the next 5 years. I can't see you picking higher than that. I mean, lower than 5 the next 5 years. Like I say, if they win 5 games this year, he did a hell of a job coaching. You better get you a left tackle. You better get you a guard. You better get you a center. You better get you a defensive end. You better get you a linebacker. Don't even worry about quarterback right now. You didn't already screw that one up. You already screwed it up. Okay? Just get that out your mind. Okay? Build your trenches. Get you somebody on defense that can dictate things. You had that. Unfortunately, Luke Kuechly got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's not coming back. Okay. But you gotta put a foundation in place. You gotta say, this is how I want to play. Okay. And if you don't do that this year coming up, that franchise it's just gonna get worse, because there's nothing right now. Me and Toya looked at tickets for the rest of the season already. You can get tickets in the lower bowl of the stadium right now. I think she looked at the Chargers game for Sunday. It's tickets in the lower bowl, $72, bro. In the lower bowl, not the upper deck, the lower bowl.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Here in Atlanta, you paying at least $1,000.
Right.
At least.
Right. She looked at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are coming here in December.
That's gonna be the game they win.
Bruh. I mean, even the tickets for them is cheap as I don't know what.
Yeah. By December, they have no hope. Yeah.
I mean, if you are already selling your tickets for reduced prices, nobody has any expectation, man.
And nobody want to be there.
Right. So, I mean, they got to do better. I don't know how. I wish I had 4 or 5 billion, and we could take it over. Now, they'll get tired of us, because I ain't doing no radio show, but you gonna see me though.
Yeah.
So I was looking at, so now to the Bucks and there, but I could see with them this year. They will win the division based on what I saw from Atlanta. I don't care whether it's Penix or, I still think they're a year away. I said they were a year away when we, the first part, and I'm still going to stick with that. If it's Cousins, he's immobile. He's just standing there. Penix is a rookie. So even if you bring him in week 6, he's still a rookie quarterback. So like I said, I think the Bucks can do enough to hold him back for this year, and then start next year when Penix has a full training camp, and all that under his belt. Yeah. And that talent learns to play with him. Then I think it's a deal. One thing that, man, Mike Evans beasted in that game. Like, he snatched those touchdowns. He put on a show. He put on, and last year, because those drops last year, boy, I wanted to, man, he used to make, last year he would drop just the most obvious deal. And you know what I'm talking about? And so this year, seeing him catch balls that are right there in front of him and then snagging them for touchdowns. And also, Godwin is looking good, but I'm always cautious about that because game 5 for Godwin is generally pretty much over.
Well, he tend to blow a tire at some point.
Exactly.
So. Yeah.
And then, like I told y'all, Baker is I know what he is, but he is the quarterback for this team.
Well,
which leads me to say, don't go overspend, like you said, T. We're probably not going to finish low enough to get any game-changing talent. Don't go waste it. You got a 3-year. He does make 30. I think 3 years, $90 million contract. Very reasonable contract. So let him run this out. And in the second year, if he wants to redo, depending on whatever, I still, like you said with Justin Fields, I still don't think he's Baker Mayfield. He ain't going to get that much. So for this team, he is the quarterback that this team just needs for me. And the schedule is a killer schedule. But I do think it can win enough games to stay a game or 2 above 500, which will be just enough to win the NFC South. With the Saints, and I thought it would be the Falcons. I actually think it might be the Saints that might be the pushers this year. And I know, but I'm based off the one game that I saw. They had big play potential.
They played the Panthers, man.
I know.
We'll find out Sunday.
They played the Panthers.
They play y'all, right, Kels?
Yep.
Yeah, they play
what both teams are made of.
Well,
see if we can actually stop
man, is it in New Orleans or is it in Dallas?
It's in Dallas, I think.
It's in Dallas.
Kelsey, man, let me tell you a story I had about the Cowboys. Probably the same thing in Pittsburgh. Went to Dallas last year, November, right? Got back, come back. The plane, and this is a plane going straight to Seattle, straight shot. Me and Tiff are the only ones without Cowboy gear on. You would have thought they reserved a private charter flight to go to Texas to come back. Hey, and what's incredible about that, Kelsey, is this place supports the Seahawks pretty big. A whole plane full of Cowboys fans back to Seattle.
Yeah, the Cowboys will travel. But the funniest thing about that is this, though. I had a chance to go visit Jerry World a couple of times, and went to Jerry Stadium, and I'll say this: we went to the gift shop, and they love their stuff. So we went to the Walmart right across the street, same stuff, reasonable price. But there, in the heart of all of that stuff, you saw this one guy with all the Pittsburgh gear on, walking around that Walmart.
Love it.
Proud. And my
Hey.
homeboy, he was gonna talk trash to him, and I told him, because Tony, you know Tim,
Yeah.
Cheryl fiance.
Yeah.
Tim, when they're talking trash to him, I said, Tim, that might not be a good idea. Anytime you see a fella wearing Pittsburgh like that in Dallas country, right across the street from the stadium, leave him alone. And as soon as Tim opened his mouth, the first thing he hit him with, how many championships y'all got? How many y'all got? I mean, he would not stop.
Hey, Bo.
And Tim got mad and said, "No, man, come on, you bought that on yourself. Let's go."
If you a Steeler fan, and I tell all Steeler fans, you ever want to shut up a Cowboy, don't even say a word. Just throw that up.
That's it.
They
Only
can't
thing
say
we
that.
got is Larry Brown. That's all we got. Larry Brown.
They can't
That's
say
all
that.
we got.
Look at
2 years ago, I was in the I went to the Duke Carolina game at Duke, and all Tar Heels there. I went to I don't know if you know the JB Duke Hotel that's right there, and I'm the only one. The doorman said, "You must be brave." I said, "No, they brave." Because I'm going in here, me and Chip going in here strong in this up in JB Duke Hotel. Then we get the camera. It was just me and her. Hey, I do got to give it to this granddad and grandson who was two, and they were Tar Heel fans. But the rest of that was Cameron. And you know how I shut them up? We retired Coach K twice.
right.
We retired his ass at Duke, and we retired his ass in the biggest stage you can ever, the Final Four. So that's what I always use for Duke fans. We retired Coach K. There's nothing else they can say to me.
See, this is the thing. About right there, we had just got to church Sunday about 10 o'clock, and my cousin's husband had shot me a text. Said, "Yo, look at this." He got season tickets to the Falcons. So he sent me a picture. He talking about, "Man, why y'all got a home game in Atlanta?" I said, "Bo,
I saw that on TV." Yeah.
I said, "Bo, hey, I don't know how we do it, because honestly, we find tickets, places that we should not be finding tickets at, because we be real close to the field. You know, it's one thing if you're in the upper deck or whatever. We be real close to the field. Steeler Nation be strong. And I'm like, how y'all get in there like that? Because I know how much tickets cost for that game, okay?
Yeah,
and I knew it was way above my means at the time. So I was like, I'm not going to see that game. But my thing is, you know, there's only 5 franchises in the NFL. And those are your glamour franchises, always going to be, always will be. It's always going to be the Steelers and the Cowboys, just because it's the Steelers and the Cowboys. If you want to throw somebody else in there, you say the Patriots, they the new generation people, because everybody love them now. But back when we were growing up, you know, Patriots were garbage. Green Bay is always going to be that type of team, and the Giants are always going to be that type of team, just because.
So we're talking about. So are we talking about popularity or relevance? Because you're leaving out a one big one that everybody wears. The Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah.
The Raider Nation. You do not understand on this side of the country.
On that side of the country,
everybody is a Raider. A man from Nevada across.
Yeah.
But Raider Nation,
and there's a lot of money in that area.
But I'm just saying, Raider Nation is not what it used to be. Now, I'll be the first one to say, I
see more Raiders gear than I ever see Patriots gear. I'd be very hard pressed to say I saw somebody in a Patriots piece. That's just like Duke and Carolina. You never see my bad, cut that T. You never see cats in a Duke jersey. Name me a time you've been walking the block.
Now,
and here we go with the Patriots.
Now you see it over here.
Always see Raiders gear.
You see it over here now, D. You see it over here now.
Oh, okay.
But it's only because it's not because these are young cats wearing Duke stuff. This is not people like us that know the relevance of Carolina. It's
I gotta see that, man. Because even when I was there, like been there last 4 times, I have never seen nobody with Duke. One person, your brother.
Of course, you already know. you know he got mixed up loyalties. You already know that. But see, the thing is, when we were growing up, Duke wasn't even a relevant team because it was North Carolina and Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Or
what
Maryland.
everybody
Maryland
was.
in there too.
It was the Hoyas, and if it wasn't the Hoyas, it was Syracuse. You already knew how that was because everybody loved Boeheim, everybody loved John Thompson. So because that was
Wake had a little run in there. But a very small run. Wake Forest had a run in there.
But see, we all get mad. We all get mad at Randolph Childress, man. That's what killed Wake Forest.
Derek McQueen and Tim Duncan, I cannot stand them.
Randolph Childress.
And Randolph Childress, that's what it is. Randolph Childress, man, I cannot stand them two cats to this day.
But you know what? I will say one thing about Randolph Childress: the greatest ACC tournament I have ever seen.
Oh my goodness, wasn't it?
In my life.
Mm-hmm.
He went off from Friday to Sunday. Ain't nothing. Nobody can ever say anything to him because this man took out North Carolina, Duke, and Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia was a powerhouse during that time too. Yeah.
Yes. Randolph Childress showed out, bro. Randolph Childress showed out. Ain't nothing we could do with him. And he dropped 40 on all of us, man.
Yes, he did.
40.
The only guard I've ever seen to own us like that is old boy from Utah. Went to the NBA for 80,000 years. What's his name? He got the rebound. He dribbled it up. We lost to them in the Final Four. What's the boy name?
Keith Van Horn.
No, the guard, Andre Miller.
Oh, Andre Miller.
Yeah.
Andre Miller, he got the rebound, went coast to coast, hit the layup, played defense, got the. It looked like Andre Miller beat us by himself in that game. That's when I knew he was NBA.
And this is the thing, and this is what I can't. This is why I try to tell people about Randolph Childress. Remember, he had Rodney Rogers and Tim Duncan on that team, and he dropped 40 3 days in a row, bro. And I'm like, that is the most unbelievable thing you ever want to hear. Unbelievable. He drug us for 3 days. And still to this day, you be like, man, shoot, you couldn't do nothing with it.
No, not at all.
But anyway, all right, we ain't gonna do no picks. I know we late tonight. Great show as always, fellas.
For sure.
Make sure we get everything up and popping for next week. This is kind of a light week, so we'll see how this goes. The NFL is gonna be a little interesting because there's some teams that can't go 0-2. Go 0-2, you're in trouble. Namely the Ravens, the Jaguars,
and the Falcons.
The Falcons for sure.
Not to win a division. And plus, it's only going to be a division winner. So they can't go 0-2.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this here. Packers go 0-2, they in trouble.
They're going to be 0-2 though.
They're going to be 0-2. I feel like that too. But they go 0-2, they're going to be in trouble because Bears offense didn't play great, but the defense kept them in the game.
Defense?
And the Lions pleasantly surprised me on Sunday.
Remember when I told y'all on the podcast that I wanted to see if Caleb Williams was going to do that same stuff running around that he did the same thing. That's why I don't know if I can believe in him or not. I thought you told me because he didn't have the weapons, right? That he didn't have to do that. So if you don't have to do it, why are you doing it?
Yeah, he's got the weapons.
Now I listen to my man Swagoo. Now I give Swagoo all credit when he talking football. The Titans defense is underrated. Titans defense is pretty stout. Now this week here, the Bears, I believe they got who they got? Who do the Bears got?
Who do I don't
know. Did they Patriots? No.
They play the Texans.
Texas. Oh no, they're gonna lose that.
So they're gonna lose.
That's gonna be 1-1 for them. So
that's Sunday, and that's the Sunday night game too. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to watch. So that means that's pressure both games. So that means the Colts play the Packers and the Bears play the Texans. Mess around. Colts got to win because you want to stay right behind the Texans. Packers, you don't want to get 0-2 because I don't think Jordan Love's gonna be back for a month, bro.
Do they play the Detroit Lions before that month?
I don't think
Or they
so.
play
I
them
think
late
they
in the
got Detroit
schedule?
later on in the year.
Okay, that's the only way they can fix that. Then they got to beat them both times.
Yeah,
Got
they're
to.
gonna have to. And the thing is, I hate it for Jordan because I feel like they probably the best team, even though they made a lot of mistakes against the Eagles. I feel like they're the best team in the NFC, honestly.
I had them as the best team in the North. I don't know if Love. I always give a person, because the announcer said it too. It looked like they listened to the people that told them how good they were at the end of the year, and that carried over into that game. So what I want to see with Love is, I thought though, they will win the NFC North. I did think that. I thought they had that step. But as far as taking that next, I think he might have needed a year or two, and then they're ready for that next, probably just a year, the way he was playing, but that was derailed. Right. And so I just think that they were going to win the North, probably maybe win a playoff game. I wouldn't be shocked if they won or lost one, and then be ready to go on that hard run next year.
Well, I feel like, because honestly, and what I saw Monday night didn't deter me from it. I think they got enough to win the NFC, because I don't have that much faith in the 49ers, because I don't know if the 49ers are good. They play the Jets, man. They play the Jets.
Yeah.
Look at,
but I gotta see if they can stop. The problem with the Green Bay thing is, the Green Bay defense is good, but it ain't that. And you got a lot of weapons from San Francisco coming at you. And what I would want to see with that is, you are right. Offensively, I think Green Bay will be okay. Where San Francisco, though, to me, still, they are both good offensively and defensively. So they're coming at you with them three boys. And one thing is, Debo ain't going down until 5 people touch him. And you need at least 5 to get him down. Ayuk just makes these catches just out of nowhere. And the dude who's replacing McCaffrey, dude, in the tackles, off the that dude is a beast.
Yeah, but
I don't know who he is, but then McCaffrey is coming back. And so do they have a combination of offense and defense to beat them? That's what I'm.
Well, the thing about it though, and it's the same thing I say about Lamar. When it gets tight, the 49ers will screw it up, because their coach go screw it up. Okay?
But they've been to the Super Bowl though.
Yeah, but they
now Lamar and them, I can see they ain't never been, but they've gone to the Super Bowl.
But they coach go screw it up. Okay.
But the beauty of the San Francisco making it to the Super Bowl is, Freddie knows who he is. Yes. And he's gonna play within that scheme.
He's never going to try to do anything outside
of it. He ain't gonna do nothing outside of it. But see, the thing is, the way you beat San Francisco is you bludgeon their defense to death. And
you run at Bosa. I know. Yep. You run.
You run away from him.
Run straight at him. Yep.
Yeah, because that's the way you neutralize him. Because one thing I can say about Joey Bosa, if you don't do stuff to him, he gonna wreck your game.
Oh, he's gonna come around that backside and destroy you.
Because
I always say run at him, and if you run at him, notice he's hurt by game 6.
Oh yeah. Well, both of them, him and his brother, they handicapped. Both of them. They make a lot of money, but they spend a lot of time in the training room now. Ain't no doubt about that. But we'll see. It's early. I'm glad, this is my favorite this time of the year. So, and this is really, really working out the way that I thought it would. And this is good conversation. So it's gonna continue, and we see where we go from here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
All right, y'all have a good week, and we'll get back together next week. All right.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, take it easy.